This is a 360 camera, and if you haven't used one before, these help you capture things in a different way compared to a traditional single lens point and shoot action camera. You can get floating camera shots, impossible angles, and overhead drone style shots. But if you don't know what you're doing, your footage can also end up looking like this. Warped faces, weird lines down the middle, blown out highlights, just a complete mess. So I'm going to teach you 10 things you need to know before you go out and shoot your first 360 video. And a quick thanks to Insta360 for sponsoring this video. Let's start with the single most important thing for beginners, the one thing that almost nobody explains properly. A 360 camera is basically two cameras back to back. Each lens records its own image, and the camera then stitches those two images together to create the full 360-degree photo or video. And where those two images meet is called the stitch line. And this is where most beginners mess up their shots without realizing why. If you put yourself or your subject or anything important on that invisible seam, the camera has to guess how to blend the two images together, and that's when you get stretched faces, warped objects, and bent lines. All those shots that make you think, why does this look so awful? So here's the simple tip: treat this camera like you've got two separate lenses. Always position yourself in front of one lens or the other, never across the stitch line. And if you're filming someone or something, aim one lens directly at it or at them. And that one habit will instantly improve your shots more than any setting changes that you can make. And understanding the stitch line also helps to explain and understand how the invisible selfie stick works. The stick isn't actually invisible, it's hidden because it sits directly in the stitch line where the two images meet. So the camera literally can't see it. And that's how we get those floating third-person shots where it looks like someone else is filming you. And there are a couple of things that make these shots work even better. Firstly, the stick that you use has to be a straight selfie stick, not one like this multi-mount. And also the camera has to be straight on top of the selfie stick, not like this. If the stitch bends or the camera is crooked, that bend can fall out of the stitch line and will show up in your shots. And if you're using an extended selfie stick, rotate the camera so the lenses face outwards to the side, not straight up and down. This then hides any stick bending inside the stitch line so your shot looks cleaner. And once you've got that sorted, you can unlock one of my favourite 360 shots, the no drone, no problem shot. So extend the stick all the way, lift it up overhead, and you can now get dynamic drone style shots in places where you can't legally fly a drone, or you simply don't feel confident using one, or you just haven't got one. And this is one of the biggest selling points of a 360 camera. If you want to take this even further and actually master your 360 camera properly, my beginner friendly course is linked below. After seeing all of these shots, the next question you might ask is, well, how do I frame my camera? How do I frame the shot? And the beauty of 360 is you just don't need to. If you can see the camera, then the camera can see you. You just hold it out, point it roughly out in front of you or in the direction of the action, and you then get on and enjoy what you're doing. You choose your angle later, and that process is called reframing. And it's one of the best features of shooting with a 360 camera. You film once, but you can pull out 6, 7 or 8 unique angles from that one shot. A wide shot, a close-up, a behind the head shot, a POV shot, a selfie shot or an overhead shot, all from a single recording. And because it's 360, you can export in any aspect ratio that you want. So 16:9 for YouTube, 9:16 for Shorts or TikTok, or 1:1 for Instagram. You don't need to reshoot anything, you just pick the version you want afterwards. Editing 360 video used to be quite intimidating for people, and if you want to learn how to edit manually, there is still a very steep learning curve. But with the AI templates now that Insta360 have in their app, editing has never been easier. You can do everything on your phone, you can edit on the train, in the car, on your sofa. You don't need the desktop software to get started. If you want fully automatic editing, you've got tools like Flash Cut that will cut your clips together with music. Or you have the live edit modes where you can record your reframing as you watch your clip, so you don't feel like you're learning a complicated editing program. And this is actually such a fun way to edit your clips, especially if you use a spinning chair, which is my favorite trick. And when you're ready to try some creative stuff, ShotLab gives you quick effects without needing any editing skills at all. You can choose from many templates in the app, and you're guided through where to place the camera and how long to shoot for and how many shots you need. So 360 editing doesn't need to be complicated and overwhelming. You can just start using some of these simple templates and then build up from there. And remember, even though you've just bought a 360 camera, you don't have to always shoot in full 360 mode. If you already know exactly what you want when you're shooting, so maybe you're filming a quick piece to camera or you're shooting a POV shot, you can then switch to single lens mode. This then works like a normal action camera. You don't have to think about the stitch line, no reframing needed, and there's smaller files that are ready to use straight away. It's a great option when you don't actually need 360 for the type of shot that you're getting. A quick care tip here, these lenses are durable, but they are still the most vulnerable part of the camera. The great thing with both of these cameras, the X5 and the X4 Air, is that the lenses are replaceable. So if you break these, you can replace them out on the field and then carry on filming. But even if there's a new lens attached, if the lens isn't clean and there's a smudge on the lens, it will affect your image quality. A smudged lens or a drop of water can ruin your shot in an instant. So always keep microfiber cloths on you and use them before every shot, or at least in every new location. And if you ever replace a lens, do it indoors away from dust, use the blower included in the kit, and at the end run a stitching calibration to ensure everything aligns properly. Now that the fundamentals of shooting 360 video are starting to make sense, we can now look at which settings we need to change in order to make our shots look even better. For most people, the simple rule to start with is to shoot in the highest resolution that your camera offers. So with the X5 and the X4 Air, this is 8K. Remember, the reason that high resolution matters so much is that we are not shooting 8K in one direction. This resolution is shared around the entire image. So it's kind of like a pizza that goes all around you, and then when you want to create an ordinary video, you need to take a slice of that pizza. And that slice will be the final part of the video that you see. So the better the resolution to start with, the better the final video. If you want slow motion, you have to drop to 5.7K on the X5 or 6K on the X4 Air. And then this will allow you to increase the frame rate. You may also want to use these smaller resolutions if your phone or your computer struggles with the big files. Use modes like 5.7K plus or 6K. This will give you smaller files, better battery life, but still great image quality for social media. When it comes to exposure with these cameras, stick to auto to begin with, but make one small change. Adjust the EV. EV is exposure value, so it tells your camera where to set the auto levels. If you set it to minus 0.3 or minus 0.7 on bright days, you'll protect the sky and add more details to the clouds. And this will keep your whole shot more balanced. It's one of the easiest ways to improve your footage instantly. HDR modes with these cameras are useful for extreme contrast situations, but don't leave them on all the time because your image can start to look over-processed under certain circumstances. However, one feature that's worth having on, and that is adaptive tone. It comes on by default with the X4 Air, but you have to select it with the X5. Adaptive tone adjusts the darkest and brightest parts of your shots so that the brightness and the colours look more natural throughout, with no overexposed sky, for example. Low light is where most action and 360 cameras really do struggle, and shooting under low light used to create grainy, murky, unusable footage. On the X5 though, you can switch to pure video mode, and this is the easiest way to make your videos in low light look cleaner and usable. These cameras have multiple microphones, but usually only one built-in windshield. And that's the one that needs to face you when you're talking to camera. Also, there are several audio modes built into the camera that you can select, so make sure you select the one that's relevant to what you're actually doing. So for everyday shooting, you can choose auto or stereo. For cycling or windy scenes, choose strong wind reduction. If you're talking to camera, use voice enhancement. If the camera is far away from you, the best and only way to get good sound is to use a Bluetooth radio mic. You can pair the Insta360 Mic Air with either of these cameras, and this will allow you to have the camera further away from you without affecting the audio. There are hundreds of accessories out there for 360 cameras, and that alone can be overwhelming for a beginner. So once you're ready to explore accessories, make sure that you choose an accessory that matches the activity that you're doing. Don't just go and buy a random accessory. So here are my favorites that are the most versatile. Chest mounts, these are really versatile and they can be used for cycling, walking, running or skiing or many other activities. A handlebar mount, this is great for your bike or your scooter but can also be used for anything else with a similar shape. A magnet mount. This one isn't very versatile, but it does allow you to get one of the best car shots ever. And that's the one where the camera is floating out in front of your car. You simply mount the camera to a selfie stick and attach it to the magnet mount in its closed position, and you then get this cinematic driving shot. So you don't need loads of accessories, just choose the right one for the right job, and ideally choose one that's versatile so it can be used for more than one activity. My final tip, and this is the most important one, and this genuinely separates those that get overwhelmed by 360 cameras and those that can use these cameras and enjoy them. Sometimes you just need to ignore every pro tip, and even ignore every tip in this video, and just go out there, enjoy yourself, and hold the camera out in front of you and press record. Because the 360 camera captures everything. You don't need to frame it, you don't need to overthink it, just be there. It's the perfect camera for family days out, kids sports days, holidays, anything where you just want to be present and not staring at your screen all day and missing the moment. And if you want the best deals on either of these cameras, then check out Insta360's holiday sale down in the pinned comment and the description below, and use my affiliate link to get a free lens kit with both of these cameras. Tell me in the comments which tip helped you most, and you can watch this video next for more 360 camera tips, and I'll see you over there.